Welcome to MindFlip, where we explore fascinating what-if scenarios that challenge your perception of reality. Today, we're diving into a world where food grows on trees. Imagine strolling through an orchard, plucking a juicy steak from a branch, or harvesting a pizza straight from the vine. Sounds absurd, right? Well, buckle up because we're about to take you on a wild ride through this culinary wonderland. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our mind-bending content. The tree economy. In this alternate reality, traditional agriculture would become obsolete. Instead of vast fields of crops, we'd have sprawling forests of food-bearing trees. The global economy would shift dramatically, with timber companies suddenly becoming major players in the food industry. Lumberjacks would trade their axes for spatulas, and arborists would be the new celebrity chefs. Grocery shopping, a walk in the park. Supermarkets would be a thing of the past. Instead, we'd have public food forests where people could leisurely pick their meals right off the branches. Imagine pushing a shopping cart down a wooded path, reaching up to grab a loaf of bread from one tree and a carton of milk from another. It would be like a never-ending Easter egg hunt, but with sustenance instead of chocolate bunnies. The great fast food forest. Fast food chains would transform into literal chains of trees. You drive up to a McDonald's oak, place your order, and watch as an employee climbs up to retrieve your Big Mac and fries. The drive-thru would become a winding path through a grove of branded trees, each specializing in a different menu item. Talk about truly organic fast food. Cooking, from farm to table in seconds. Home cooking would take on a whole new meaning. Instead of a backyard, you'd have a personal orchard. Forgot to buy ingredients for dinner? No problem. Just reach out your kitchen window and pluck a lasagna from your Italian cuisine tree. Meal prep would be a breeze, and the farm-to-table movement would reach its ultimate form. The end of food waste. With food growing on trees, expiration dates would become nearly irrelevant. Fruits and vegetables would remain fresh on the branch until picked, and even processed foods would only be harvested when needed. This would drastically reduce food waste and alleviate hunger in many parts of the world. Plus, composting would be as simple as letting fallen foods decompose naturally. Weather woes and food security. However, this arboreal abundance would come with its own set of challenges. Severe weather events could devastate entire food supplies. A single storm might wipe out a region's pizza trees, leading to a tragic shortage of cheesy goodness. Climate change would take on a whole new level of urgency when it directly affects the growth of your favorite snacks. The Great Migration of Vegans. In this world, even strict vegans might find themselves in a moral quandary. If a burger grows on a tree, is it still considered meat? Would plants now be sentient beings capable of feeling pain? We might see a mass exodus of vegans to regions where only fruit trees grow, creating new vegan-only communities centered around apple and orange groves. The rise of extreme sports. Food foraging. Extreme sports would evolve to include competitive food foraging. Imagine televised events where contestants race through dense food forests, scaling trees to reach the most prized delicacies. Extreme cuisine could become an Olympic sport, with athletes training to navigate treacherous branches while assembling a gourmet meal midair. A new era of food allergies. Allergies would take on a whole new dimension. Those with nut allergies might have to avoid entire neighborhoods filled with peanut butter trees. Cities would need to implement strict zoning laws to create allergen-free zones, and hazmat suits could become fashionable outerwear for the severely allergic venturing into mixed food forests. The evolution of cuisine. Chefs would become expert botanists, crafting new flavor combinations by grafting different food trees together. Imagine a tree that produces a perfectly layered tiramisu or a hybrid that grows both sushi and wasabi. Molecular gastronomy would give way to arboreal gastronomy, with restaurants boasting about their rare and exotic food-bearing trees. Education in career shifts. Schools would need to adapt their curricula to include subjects like advanced tree climbing for lunch retrieval and ethical harvesting of sentient snacks. Career counselors would guide students towards promising fields such as pizza tree pruning or ice cream cone cultivation. A degree in forestry would suddenly become one of the most sought-after qualifications in the culinary world. The great dessert debate. One of the most heated debates in this new world would be the classification of desserts. Are cakes technically fruits? Should ice cream trees be protected as an endangered species? These philosophical questions would spark countless academic papers and possibly even lead to the creation of a new branch of science: confectionery dendrology, global trade and diplomacy. International relations would revolve around the exchange of rare and exotic food trees. Diplomatic tensions might arise over the ownership of a particularly productive chocolate fountain tree, while trade agreements would focus on the fair distribution of vegetable varieties across different climates. The United Nations might establish a global seed vault to preserve the genetic diversity of food-bearing trees. The end of cooking shows? Traditional cooking shows would become obsolete, replaced by programs teaching viewers how to properly harvest and present their tree-grown meals. Celebrity chefs would be judged not by their culinary skills, but by their ability to cultivate the most flavorful and visually appealing food trees. Tree to table would become the new catchphrase of the culinary world, a new appreciation for nature. Perhaps the most significant change would be humanity's renewed connection with nature. When our very sustenance grows on trees, we develop a deeper appreciation for the environment. Conservation efforts would skyrocket, and everyone would have a personal stake in maintaining the health of our global food forest. As we conclude our journey through this fantastical world of arboreal cuisine, we're left with a newfound appreciation for the complexity of our food systems. While the idea of pizzas growing on trees might seem absurd, it reminds us of the incredible diversity and ingenuity of nature. Who knows? Maybe someday, science will catch up to our imagination. Thank you for joining us on this mind-flipping adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Leave a comment below telling us what food you wish grew on trees, and subscribe to MindFlip for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, keep your minds open and your imaginations wild.